Hi. Okay, this video we're going to look at probability. And I've chosen this particular question for two reasons. One, I wanted to show a proper level 2 question for probability. And two, this is on the practice paper on the Pearson website, so you're going to come across it anyway, if you haven't already. So, slight cheat, I suppose, but only slight. Probability is all about whether something will happen or not. You toss a coin, will it land heads or tails? It's a 50-50 probability that it'll land on heads, because there's only two sides, so it's got to be 50-50. With a question like this, it's a bit more complicated. These are flowers in a garden centre. You can't see the rest of the question, it's up here somewhere. Or the rest of the explanation rather. Questions are here. So we've got a little table. We've got a stem length of short and long, 10 short with a small flower, 43 short with a large flower, 18 long stemmed with a small flower, and 29 long stemmed with a large flower. So, all you've got to do is read that and get the information that you need. The rest is easy. She will take a plant at random from these plants. Work out the probability that this plant will have a large flower and a long stem. So, there's a large flowers and there's a long stem. There's 29 altogether that she could pick. Large flower, long stem. There are 53, 68, 71, 91. There's 100 flowers altogether. So it's quite simple. If you remember, if you've watched all these videos, or most of them, further back when we were doing fractions and decimals, I said, think of this line in a fraction as out of, and that relates to this as well. 29 long stemmed large flower out of a total of 100. Job done. There's only 100 flowers altogether. Only 29 of them have a large flower and a long stem. What's the probability that she takes out a large flower and a long stem? There's only 29 that she could pick. There's 100 altogether. So she could pick any one of 29 out of 100. Now then, again, thinking back to fractions, if you could cancel that down to its simplest form. But there are no numbers that will go into 29 and 100, so you can't cancel it down. So it stays as it is. And that's your answer. 29 out of 100. If it was 20 out of 100, if there are only 20 flowers that have got large flowers and long stems, you could end up with a fifth by cancelling it down. Because 20 will go into 100 5 times. So you've cancelled 20 over 100 down to a fifth. At level 1, you'll get away with that probably. But this is a level 2 question. They would expect you, if you can, to cancel it down. Problem is, you can't cancel that down. So it stays. That's the answer. Simple. Second question. May will take at random a plant from the 72 plants that have a large flower, so 43 plus 29 is 72. The 72 plants that have a large flower, work out the probability that this plant will have a short stem. So we got 72. I'll do it over here because I can't move the box, unfortunately, so I'll get rid of this. I'll put a line down there to separate that question from the other one. Work out the probability that this plant will have a short stem. So it's from a large flower with a short stem. Out of 72. All you've got to work out now is how many have got a short stem and a large flower. Small stem, sorry, short stem, large flower, 53. 43. Work out the probability that this plant will have a short stem. Okay, so short, large flower is this. Short stem, large flower, 43 out of 72. Again, you can't cancel that down. There's nothing that'll go into 43 and 72. So you leave it as it is. And that's probability at level 2. That's how easy it is. The only difference between level 2 and level 1, really, is that on level 1, you can use a timeline or a probability line, 0 to 1. 0 being impossible, and 1 being certain. So, is it going to rain in November in the UK? You can't say it's certain because miracles do happen, but you could be very close. The likelihood is yes, but it can't be 100% certain that it's going to rain in November. Similarly, is it going to be sunny all the way through July in the UK? Chances are yes, but you can't be certain. So you can't say 100%. So you could put different markings on there. Likely, not likely, very likely, but the way things are moving with functional skills, this might go out the window soon. It's still there at the moment with the new one. But I can see that sooner or later they're going to stop putting these types of questions in and stick to these. Where you've got a table, you've got to read the information, you've got to extract the information from the table, and you've got to work out a fraction, and then if possible simplify it to get the correct answer. You can't simplify that, you can't simplify that. If you can't, you can't. Simple as that. And that, in a nutshell, is probability, and it is in a nutshell. Well, again, if you're watching because you're one of my students and we've done this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If I've said that we're going to do it next week and you're recapping just to see what it's all about, ready for next week, we'll cover this a bit more. But in a nutshell, that's it. It's so many of one thing out of so many. And you end up with a fraction that you can or may not be able to cancel down. Okay?